What's up? Welcome back to Vee Vlogs.
Long time no see.
Long time no see. We had to take a couple days off because wedding planning has become frequent.
Frequent? You mean just absolutely insane?
It's been getting busier, so it's been harder to get a lot of work done, but we're trying to like vlog as much as we can so we have videos to post while we're, you know, on our honeymoon and at the wedding.
And we also don't want to be bogging you guys down with suboptimal vlogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's quality over quantity is what Jessie's been trying to hammer into my head a little bit.
Yes, that's very true. And Winnie is with us in the car. I don't know if you can see her.
Probably
Maybe just
not.
like the top of her head. I don't know. We're heading to my mom's house because we're doing a bunch of wedding stuff there. We have to do a wedding seating plan, thank you cards, a bunch of stuff. So that's
Setting
where
up
we're going
a light
right now.
box for all your merch.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff happening. We're heading there right now. We'll do a different vlog on that. But on our way in the car, I thought we would do a little bit of a health update and story time for you guys today.
That's basically what we're doing now. The vlog channel is a story time channel.
Basically.
Change the title, I think.
Oh, someone's awake.
She heard camera and had to get up.
Yeah, that's so weird. Whenever we have the vlog camera on, she always wants to be involved.
Only when you're there. Because when I
Really?
picked her up
Yeah.
a few days ago, she did not want to have anything to do with it.
Hi, little boogers. Want to show the camera your beautiful face?
That's what I'm doing though.
Okay, so I got an idea to do a video called The Worst Case Scenario.
Well, I think they know that by now. That's the title.
Oh yeah, duh. But I got that idea because as of lately, in the last, I would say, like 6 or 7 days, I've had this horrible ringing in my ears. And like, everybody has a slight ringing in their ears. I feel like everybody does.
Well, everybody loves listening to music at like full blast.
Yeah.
With ear pods like right in your ear.
Yeah, I feel like
So-
no one knows what silence sounds like. It's just like a small ringing. But after I started more antibiotics, it's been such a loud ringing that I can hear it even when I'm talking. Like, it's so piercingly loud. It's almost like I'm listening to like a soundtrack that's just a ringing noise. It's so irritating. And it's making my like hearing muffled, almost as if I just went to a loud concert and I came back and it's just been muffled constantly. So my hearing is going away and I have ringing in my ears, and so my doctor basically said when I went on these meds, the worst case scenario, you'll have terrible ear ringing.
Oh.
Guess what I have? The worst case scenario
Not necessarily the worst case scenario.
for one of the meds. I'm on
For one of the
azithromycin,
meds.
and the really bad effect of azithromycin is ear ringing and hearing loss.
So I might need to brush up on some sign language soon.
No, I don't think I would lose complete hearing. I think to lose complete hearing, you'd have to be on the medication for like years.
Which you might be.
Well, hopefully not. So yeah, that's the worst case scenario for this med, which I'm dealing with. And I'm on a different medication that like your heart can stop randomly, but I'm not going to be the worst case scenario for that.
On the bright side though, your test came back and they said you should be good.
Yeah, so I thought I would just give you examples of worst case scenarios that I was throughout my life, and maybe you have some examples of that too.
Not necessarily. I've been
Really?
clean
You've had good luck?
for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody has their struggles. We're not trying to make it like a competition
yeah.
or anything.
Last time when we posted the video about like the truck hitting our bridal place, I was saying like, oh, we have the worst luck in the world. It's just a figure of speech, guys. I feel like so many people took that literally and they were like, well, what about us? And what about other people who have bad luck? I know everybody has their issues and their problems in life. It was a figure of speech. You guys know I'm dramatic, and I say I have the worst luck because that's how I feel sometimes. It's a personal thing. It wasn't meant to offend.
Everybody feels that way every now and then.
Yeah.
Everybody does.
It's a figure of speech. It just means that you're overwhelmed by things happening in your life.
Yeah.
Anyway, so just an example of worst case scenarios that I was. When I was 9 years old, I had to get my tonsils out. It's like a really messy procedure. Anybody who's had their tonsils out will know. They just cut up your throat. It's actually really disgusting. And they said to my mom when I was under anesthetic, the worst case scenario is that she will wake up screaming and pop her stitches because she had a bad reaction to the anesthetic. But that's worst case scenario. That's not gonna happen. So my mom was like, okay, great. Anyway, an hour later, she hears down the hall me screaming bloody murder, and all the nurses had to run in the room. My throat was bleeding because I had just broken all the stitches they just did, had terrible complications with my surgery, and had to stay in the hospital for days while they had to monitor me. And every other kid that day who had their tonsils out went home, they had little ice creams, everything was fine. But I was worst case scenario.
My brother had something like that, not when he was coming out of anesthetic.
Yeah.
It was the night after he was sleeping and his throat started hemorrhaging. So he was choking on it in the middle of the night. So they had to rush him in and they had to monitor him again as well. He did not have a good time. Him and surgeries do not mix very well, and it sucks that he's had to have so many, especially for his breathing and all that.
Surgeries are terrible. Then, in 2011, my lung collapsed. And basically I went into the hospital and they have to put in like a breathing tube that supposedly reinflates your lungs. It's like 90% of the time your lung will reinflate. And the doctor told me, worst case scenario, your lung won't inflate and you'll have to have a second surgery to remove part of your lung and then to like pin it back up to your chest wall. But that is worst case scenario, not gonna happen to you. Well, they put the tube in, I went home for 3 days and my lung wasn't inflating. So I went back in and he's like, oh shoot, your lung is not working, you gotta go for a second surgery. So, once again, I was worst case scenario.
How weird was it that you were breathing through like the side of your chest?
It was weird, you could put your hand there
and you could
feel like air.
Yeah.
It was really weird.
Like
you had this like hole in your side.
Like would you breathe through your nose and stuff like that too, or was it only coming from the side?
No, you breathe through your...
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, that would be like the ultimate cheat for when you're doing like holding your breath competitions with your friends when you're like in grade 5.
Work like that.
Yeah,
No.
You're just breathing through the side.
Anyways, then I went and I had a colonoscopy, which I don't know if I've ever talked about on this channel, but I used to have really bad stomach pain and like IBS and stuff, so I had to go for a colonoscopy. If you didn't know, it's a tube up your bum, okay, and it goes through your colon. Let's be adults here. I went in for that. Sorry, I just got I got really like emotional. Okay, so I went in and I was like, okay, so it's gonna be like a pretty seamless like procedure. I'll be fine. They're not gonna find anything. And the doctor was like, worst case scenario for your age, we'll find some polyps. If you guys didn't know, polyps are like little growths inside of your colon that could turn cancerous if they're not removed. But he's like, that's worst case scenario. Anyways, get the colonoscopy. At the end, he's like, yeah, you had a few polyps, which is very strange at your age, but I removed them just in case they could have been cancerous. And I was like, I'm always worst case scenario.
I would think worst case scenario for pretty much all of those situations is spontaneous combustion.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's worser, more worse.
It's just the ones that the doctors tell you to try and keep you calm.
Yeah.
You always ended up being what they said not to worry about.
Yeah, worst case scenario is obviously death for anything. It's just like for someone my age, they'd say normally worst case scenario is this, right? If you're older, it could be like worse complications.
I think worst case scenario is losing the Pop-Tart.
Losing the Pop-Tart?
Yeah. Any situation, if you lose your Pop-Tart, you're just like really sad.
Yes.
That's always the worst case.
And then with this whole Lyme disease thing, when I went to get tested, obviously worst case scenario would be me having Babesia because that's one of the worst strains you can have. And of course, worst case scenario. I don't know why it happens to me, guys. Like I said before, I know everybody has their struggles in life and there's no competition. We're all equals as human beings. We all go through things in life. So I never want you guys to think that me saying all of my issues is me saying you guys don't have any. Obviously, you guys probably have some worse ones. It's not about that, just to clarify.
We're trying to entertain.
We're just trying to entertain you, just tell you stories, and maybe you can relate to a lot of things I'm saying. But yeah, that's my little story time for the car ride.
I don't really have any worst case scenarios things. The only reactions I get for like anesthetic and stuff like that is memory loss. And I tried to bite one of the nurses once.
That's always good.
Yeah, that was about it.
Yeah. Anyways though, if you have any worst case scenario stories, comment down below. And I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and we'll see you in our next vlog. Bye!
See you guys.
I don't know where the off button is.
I'll help you. We're being responsible drivers right now.